Good morning, guys. We're going to work on some shapes today. I'm sharing my screen with you, so I want you to actually, if you're listening, we're going to go to classifying 3D figures. Okay, right there it gives you definitions of a prism, a pyramid, a cylinder, a cone, and a sphere. So read through those. Make sure you know the difference. Now, I want to do number 1 with you because it is a rectangular prism. So if you think about it, you're going to call it a rectangular prism, and then it has faces. Faces are the sides of it. So if you look at this rectangular prism, there's 6 faces. Edges. Edges is where two faces meet on a line. So we're looking like right here, right here, down here. Okay, so in a rectangular prism, there would be 12. 12. Okay, vertices, that is where two edges meet, right there in the corner. So right here, right here. Okay, so on a rectangular prism, there would be 8. 8. So it's a good idea to go through these and just make sure you're familiar with the difference between the faces and the edges and the vertices. Okay, we're going to get that all deleted here and move on. Okay, so now I want you to go to the rectangular prism, or sometimes they're cubes, okay? Today we're just doing volume. Volume is super easy. You can do it. If you look at the rectangular prism, you're looking right here. Here's your volume formula, length times width times height. So if I look at number 1, I'm going to do 9 times 21 times 7, and you would get, I'll let you take a minute, 1,323 feet squared. So 1,323 feet cubed. Don't forget that. Okay, so we've been doing rectangular prisms all the time. So those are super easy, right? Let's move on. Now, other prisms. So triangular prism is really probably what we're looking at. So that means they have a base of a triangle. Okay, so in that case, you're going to take the area of the base and times it by height. Area of a triangular prism would be a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height, right? Area would be. Okay, so let's try, let's do a couple of these. Okay, let's do number 6. So in order to find the base, okay, it is a triangular prism, so we're looking for the base here. Oh, I lied. It is not a triangular prism. It is actually a rectangular prism. So we're not going to do number 6. It's still a little crazy here. So I feel like I need to show you one that you can see better. Let's do 7. Okay, let's do 7. So we're going to do 7 and we're going to do 8. Now, right here is my triangle. Okay, right there's my triangle. Let's see, maybe I'll highlight it. There we go. Different colors, see that triangle right there? That's my triangle. Okay, so I know that's my base, so I'm going to take half of 19 times 5.1, okay? And that is just my triangle. So I would get 48/45 if I do that. Now I still have to take my height of my triangular prism, which is right here. Okay, this would be a length, this would be a length here. Hold on, let me make sure you can see that. This right here would be a length, this would be a length, but this is my height. So then I multiply it by 4, and I would get 193.8. Okay, the triangular prisms are a little harder. You just have to be able to visualize it. Now, if you look at number 8, that one's an awesome one to figure out. They only give you 3 measurements, so you're going to take 24 times 7 and take half of that because that's your triangle base, and then multiply that answer by 28. Okay, let's go ahead and move on here. Let me erase this. Was there anything else up top? Okay, here we go. Now, let's go to cylinders. Okay, so again, you're looking right here for volume. Pi r squared h. So if you look just at the pi r squared, that's the area of a circle. You should know that, okay? So we're looking for a radius, not a diameter. So if you have a diameter, like in 13 and 14, you have to take half of that. So let's do 11, and then we'll do 13 or 14, okay? So I'm going to multiply everything by pi. So you could use 3.14 and times it by, here's my radius. So we have to square that, right? So then this would be 100, all times the height, which is right here, which is 4. So I would take 3.14 times 100 times 4. Just letting you catch up there. So you would get 1,256.6 millimeters cubed. Do not forget that cube. That's how I know it's volume. Okay, let's look at 13. They give me a diameter. So I know my radius is then 13. And I can plug everything in. Remember, 3.14 times 13 squared times 40. Okay, if you work all of that out, you should get 21,237.2. So let me write that down. 21,237.2 meters cubed. Okay, cylinders are a necessity. Okay, you are going to have those on your homework, so make sure you can do those. I'm going to go ahead here and erase all this. Remember, you can stop and start this, so even though I'm erasing it, you can go back and watch it. Okay, let's keep going. We have more volume. Okay, pyramids. Oof, they're a little harder too, right? Those triangles, man, they get us every time, don't they? Here we go. So if you're looking at a pyramid, mainly the ones I would give you would be 1 and 3, okay? So remember, it's a triangle, and sometimes they'll have triangular bases, or they'll have a square base for pyramids. I believe every one I'm giving you is going to have a rectangle or a square base, okay? So let's just do number 1. Here's our formula. We take 1/3 of the area of the base and times it by the height. So if you look, right here is my base. So I'm going to take 1/3 of 12 times 12, because that would be the area of the square, and then times it by 10. So guys, that's not that difficult. And you have all the formulas right there. So you're going to take 1/3 of 144 times 10. Okay, so when you get that, your answer is 480. So this one's 480 feet cubed. Remember, we're doing volume. Okay, now Let's move up. Okay, we'll do number 3. Number 3 is not bad either. Okay, so remember, this is my base. We take 1/3 of 8 times 3, and then times by height, which is 9. So 1/3 of 24 times 9 should give you 72, and those are centimeters cubed. Okay, so you just have to have the formula. Guys, you can do this. I know you can do this. So I'm going to go ahead and erase that. Now remember, on the note keys, you're going to have all of these examples, okay? So you can always go back and check if you want to do some extra examples. Cones. Oof, you thought you were done, but you're not. Cones. Again, you're going to take 1/3. You have a circle and you have a height. So we have a lot going on with a cone. Okay. So let's look at number 7. So 1/3. Now pi. Oops, this is 1/3. So you can use 3.14. Okay. Now my radius is 3.5. So I'm going to have to square that. Okay. And then times it by the height. I really want you to see all of these written out. Your 1/3, your pi, your radius squared, and then your height. That way you don't forget what you're doing. Okay, so if you multiply all these out, now remember, square 3.5 first, and then multiply them. Okay, so what I would do is take pi, and then times my 3.5 squared, times 16, and then divide by 3. Okay, and you would get 205.3, and these are actually miles cubed. Oops, my 3s are just not looking so good today. Okay, so you can do this. You're just working this formula right here. Now look at number 8, gives you a diameter. So then we have to go to the radius, which is 9. So don't forget those little things. Those things we can fix, right? Good job, guys. Okay, one more. One more. The sphere. Actually, the sphere is super, super easy. Yeah, they give you all kinds of good things, okay? So this little point here is called the center, right? This line going straight up and down right there is your diameter, okay? This is your radius. You know that's what we're looking for right there. And see this little circle going around? That's called the great circle. It slices the sphere into 2 hemispheres. At this point, you don't have to worry about that. Just good to know, okay? So let's do volume. Okay, so volume is right here. So instead of 1/3, we're going to take 4/3 times pi, and then look what you do with your radius. You're going to have to cube it, okay? So it's not a hard formula. You just have to remember what to do. So for spheres, you're going to take 4/3 times pi, because we're working with a circle, always have to have pi, and then 4 cubed. Okay, so your answer would be 268.1, and these are inches cubed. Now, if you look at number 2, the 10.7, that's your radius. Oops, sorry about that, guys. Let me erase that. Now, if you look at 3 and 4 give you a diameter, so then your radius would be 13, and then your radius here would be 5.5. Okay, so we're only going to do volume on this sphere today. Okay, we are not going to hit the surface area until Thursday. So I think you guys can do it. Obviously, email me. You have it all set up, and I know you can work really hard.